We have become obsessed with fear. It's just the way we've been programmed throughout history, and we just seem to love it. So what is the secret to becoming brave? As Mark Twain said, bravery is not the lack of fear, it's acting in spite of it. It sounds a little odd, but the primary antidote to fear is actually a form of surrender. This doesn't mean giving in or succumbing to whatever danger lies in wait, but rather a "so what" attitude. Momentary surrender allows you to drop all high emotions, and your mind says, "Okay, stop, check it out. What is this situation asking of me? Can I do anything to help this? No? Well then perhaps it's time to move on." Calmness in the face of perceived fear allows for your intuition to help find a way, instead of being led by self-preservation. Bravery is required when dealing with aspects of the unknown, or put simply, something you've not done before. Even if it's been done a million times by others. It could be anything from telling a joke or making a speech, going skydiving, whatever. If it's something you've never done before, your ego will try and persuade you to avoid any potential harm. So it'll give you some fear of ridicule, fear of failure, fear of hurting yourself. When we learn to surrender to the small fears in life, it'll also help you to embrace the inevitability of change, because they require the same surrender to what is attributes. With every small step, one doesn't always notice how quickly the entire staircase can be ascended. Everyone has their comfort zones. Yours is different to mine, your neighbours and your friends. But for most of us, it's the place where we spend much of our time. Whilst others are continually pushing the boundaries of their own perceived bravery limits, as the adrenaline can be addictive. The danger is a buzz for them, and the now is being experienced to the fullest. Spend too much time in unchallenged comfort, however, and you're in danger of slipping into autopilot, which in turn can provide you with a false sense of security. It requires minimal thought, offers minimal expansion, and tries to eliminate almost all uncertainty in your path. Not only is this perceived safety blanket illusionary, but where does this kind of complacency get you? You'll just end up playing a game of life endurance. It'll be a case of simply wanting to get from A to B with minimal fuss, in relative comfort. Of course, there is no right or wrong, and if your intention is to endure life, rather than experience as much as you dare, then that's fine. So what are the signs of a well-bedded comfort zone? Perhaps the well-trodden path of a routine can allow for a certain amount of sleepwalking, where you park your car, your favourite seat in the house, the programme you like to watch, or the way you operate at work can all be revisited, repeated and reenacted time after time, like a hamster in a wheel. Have you ever arrived at your destination and forgotten the actual journey that got you there? Or seen a job advertised that you have a deep yearning to apply for but let it slip by because, well, you're okay? Perhaps you've avoided an invitation to go out for the evening because you'd have had to have met new people. We're all guilty of being cautious of situations that make us feel uncomfortable, and we do have a certain amount of repetition in our lives. We all do. But to live a life of unremarkable repetition can defeat the object of living, especially if there's something inside you that says, there's got to be more to life than this. So what happens when someone parks in your parking space or sits in your seat, switches your program off or invites you to a party full of complete strangers? Does it raise your anxiety? Make you feel momentarily vulnerable? On the grand scale of things, these are relatively minor issues, which begs the question, what happens to your blood pressure when something profound happens? Being slightly scared or nervous about new experiences is a perfectly natural protective emotion. It keeps you on your toes, it heightens your awareness, and more often than not, helps you produce better results. Every challenge is also an opportunity for growth. Change is inevitable. It's the only real constant in our lives. Nervous? Yes, I am. Ah, is it your first time? No, I've been nervous lots of times. Airplane, 1980. Acts of bravery in the face of life's more challenging situations can be deeply inspiring to witness. We often try and put ourselves in their position and wonder if we could do the same. And when sitting in the comfort of our homes, it would seem unlikely. But you may surprise yourself in the heat of the moment. It is also empowering for the individual concerned, who is alert enough to allow the situation to reveal itself to them in such a way that they feel compelled to act. Allowance or surrendering to any given situation enables us to look directly at the issue before us. Do we act or not? How should we act? Fight or flight? Do we get energized? Should we just move on? Ignore it? These behavioral choices can be tough, but we all have to make them. No one's exempt from life's little crossroads. It's even tougher for those playing the waiting game in their comfort zones. Perhaps it's time to challenge yourself. Meet problems head on. Think about the things you'd like to do but are a little scared of doing. If the opportunity arises, you should try something that requires a little bravery every day. Not necessarily what others may or may not perceive as brave, just your version of it. Your general ability to cope increases every time you do. If you can embrace the idea that you may even get it wrong, then you've already won.